In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your initials on either a necklace or you could hook it to your backpack. It's up to you. So what you want to do is you want to go over here to where it says basic shapes and change that to text. Then you look through the initials and you drag on the letters that are your initials. Now, it's not going to matter what color this is. It's going to depend on what color we put into the 3D printer. So after you get your letters onto the work plane, you want to stick your letters together, because if they're not stuck together, they'll just print out in separate pieces. So you just want to drag them and stick them together so they're overlapping. If you want to, you can make one of your initials a little bit thicker than the other one. Say, for example, right now, if I put my mouse here, I can tell that this one, the letter J, is 4 millimeters thick. If I click on the H, I can tell that the H is also 4 millimeters thick. If you drag that center up just a little bit, I could make this one just a little bit thicker, so this one's 5 millimeters thick instead. Then you can view it from different angles to make sure you have it right. So I could view it from the top, I could view it from the side. You always want to make sure that nothing goes underneath the work plane, because when you're 3D printing, you cannot print anything that's under the plane. Everything has to be above the plane. If you want to zoom in on it and view it a little closer, you can do that. Now you need to add on a shape that will be your connector. So you go back to text and change this back to basic shapes and look through the shapes. You could use one that already has a hole in the middle, for example, the tube shape. When you put this on here, you want to drag this from 10 millimeters thick down to probably about 4 or 5 millimeters thick. Then you just drag that and stick it onto your initials. You could add it to the top, you could add it to the front, you could add it to the side. It's up to you. Once you stick it on, you do want to view it from the top to make sure that it actually is stuck on to your letter. Because if you put it up too high like that, when it prints, then it won't be connected. If you want to resize this and make it a little smaller, you can. Notice it shows the height and width. So, or I should say the length and width. So if you put it like this, that would be an oval. If you dragged it so that the numbers match, so if I made it 10 by 10, then that's a perfect circle shape. And then I could drag the whole shape and connect it on to my initials where I want it to connect. Once I'm happy with it, I group the shapes. I want to group the shapes together. I think I just want to stick it on like that. So I drag my mouse across the whole thing. You'll see a red box kind of appear, and now the whole shape is selected. And to group it, I pick group, and then that will stick the entire thing together. Before you save it, you do want to view it from, I usually take it and view it from the front and the sides. I check out the home view. You can zoom in to get a closer view. Just view it from a couple different angles to make sure that the letters are actually stuck together and that it looks correct. If you changed your mind about something and you wanted to delete it, you could drag your mouse across the whole thing and pick ungroup, and click on the part that you want to delete and just push delete. Or you could also click and pick delete from right here on your screen. You could, besides using a shape that already has a hole in it, if you want to get a different shape for your connector, you could do something like this. You could drag a shape on and you can resize the shape to the shape you want. You want to check the height of the shape. Like right now, this heart is 10 millimeters thick. Or actually, yep, it's 10 millimeters thick. If I click on that red square in the center of it, that tells me how thick it is. I want to drag that down to about 5 millimeters thick. Then I want to put a hole in the middle of it. I might view it from the top to make sure I get the hole right in the middle. You could drag on a box shape, a cylinder shape. You could drag on another heart shape and just make that into a hole if you want to. So you'd get a shape, resize it. I'm going to click hole. Now I put this right into the middle of the heart. Drag my mouse across, group it together. I might just view it a little bit closer up to make sure that it looks how I want it. And you might want to view it from the side, make sure you have it how you want it. Then when you're ready, you want to combine those two. So I take the heart and maybe I just want to stick it right here. You want to make sure that it's touching your initials. Drag your mouse across the entire thing to select it last and pick group. Now when you're ready to save, go up to the top, click here, delete the suggested title, and then type your name. And I'll just call, and then you can name it something to go with it. So I named it Mrs. H Initials, and that saves it. In order to get this ready to 3D print, you also have to export it. This is the button that allows you to download it for 3D printing. So you want to click export, include everything in the design as an STL file. And when you click that, it's going to prepare the model to export. It might just take a couple seconds. This will save your design to your actual computer. Because when you're designing things, it usually just automatically saves it in the Tinkercad program, which is online. But when you're ready to print it with the 3D printer, you have to do the export. So now mine is just waiting. So we'll wait for a couple seconds and see what happens. All right, it looks like it's taking a little bit longer, but it should just save that export to your downloads folder on your computer. And that's pretty much it for making your initials.